putting families back together, one man, one family at a time. My name is Pastor Andy, and I came to Lake Wales in 2017 to serve as the family life pastor here at High Point Church, but I haven't always been called pastor. In 2006, I ended up in rehab, and God radically changed my life. Before that, I was a sales leader for a Fortune 500 company, but from the outside, it looked like it was success, but inside, my life was falling apart. I was a broken man. But God had other plans, and let's fast forward several years to Lake Wales. We were building this building, and life was good. I had a great team here at High Point. I was fishing over at the Chalet Suzanne, and then something strange started happening. God started stirring something in my heart, and it wouldn't leave me alone. You ever have something like that happen where you know God's trying to tell you something and He won't leave you alone, and you just wish He'd go bother somebody else? Finally, during a staff meeting, I said it out loud. I said, someone needs to start a rehab next door at the old Chalet Suzanne. And honestly, I thought that was the end of it. But Pastor Jack looked at me and said something I'll never forget. He said, that's exactly the type of ministry that churches should be doing, and maybe you're the guy to do it. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to do it, but we started exploring the idea, and then something incredible happened. We started having conversations with Eric and Dee Henshaw, the owners of the property. Doors started opening, things started happening that shouldn't have been possible, and the only way I know how to describe it is this. It felt like God had parted the Red Sea, because we had no plan and no money, and a whole lot of people telling us that this could never be done. But two of my favorite words in the Bible are, but God. And in September of 2020, I stepped down from my position at High Point and stepped into something completely unknown. The property we were given access to had been closed for 6 years, buildings were empty, and the work ahead of us felt overwhelming. But then, after all of that, came a moment that I'll never forget. And it was on this day, March 22nd of 2021, and our first resident arrived. A man named Brian walked across the property carrying everything he owned in a single backpack, and that was the beginning of Refuge on the Ridge. Today, Brian is reunited with his children. He works full-time at another ministry, and he's now a certified peer recovery specialist, helping other men find the freedom that he found. And that's what Refuge is about. Refuge on the Ridge is a 10-month faith-based regeneration program for men battling alcohol and drug addiction, and the need is massive. Did you know that drug overdose is now the leading cause of death in America for people between the ages of 18 to 44? And opioid overdose deaths have increased over 700% since 1999. And there's another problem. Most treatment programs cost $40,000 to $50,000 or more, and in Florida it's actually more than that. And the truth is, most men whose lives have fallen apart simply don't have that kind of money. And from the very beginning, God made something crystal clear to me. Never turn away a man because he doesn't have the ability to pay, and we haven't. At Refuge, men work about 4 hours a day as part of their recovery. They serve the community through handyman work, landscaping, moving jobs, our food truck, and service projects all across the county. Why? Because addiction destroys responsibility. Recovery rebuilds it. The biggest difference in our program isn't the work, it isn't the classes, it isn't the discipline. The biggest difference is God. Because anyone can get sober. You could lock someone in a room for 10 months and they'd be sober, but sobriety alone doesn't change a life. Transformation does. Romans 12:2 says that do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And we've watched God transform lives in ways we never imagined. In just the last 5 years, 64 men have completed our program. 97% of them have obtained full-time employment within 2 months. 9 have started their own business, and 46 children have been reunited with their fathers. Marriages have been restored. And every month, our men serve the community over 150 volunteer hours each month. You've probably seen them. As a matter of fact, if you parked your car here today, there's a really good chance that one of the men you saw was a Refuge guy. But this story isn't finished, because every week another man shows up carrying everything he owns, sometimes in a backpack, sometimes they don't have that. And when he arrives, we want to be able to say there's a place for you here. That's why we're asking for you to partner with us through prayer, through encouragement, and if you're able, through financial support. Because when you support Refuge on the Ridge, you're not just helping a man recover, you're helping restore a father. You're helping to restore a husband, a son, a family, and sometimes an entire future. Come meet with us in the lobby after the service. We'd love to tell you more about what God's doing. Thank you for believing in this mission. Thank you for helping us continue. to put families back together, one man, one family at a time. God bless.